And we're live, baby. Welcome back to Shooting the Shit Uncensored. I am your host, the dad bod god, the bald, the beard, and the fucking beautiful Piers Austin. And once again, I am joined by Mr. King Ding-a-ling, the man with the three largest legs in professional wrestling, Mr. Robbie, the original Greaser Zucco. Fuck, I almost fucked that up, didn't I?
Oh, it was a pretty good intro, brother. Thank you so much for that. That's one of your better ones, though.
Oh, thanks, mate. I only fucked up once in it, right? But man, I'm excited tonight, man, to have our next guest on, Mr. Tyson Gibbs. Tyson's a really interesting dude, man. I love having a conversation with him. I love talking wrestling with him. One of the guys I find really his opinions are very interesting to me. I really like hearing his thoughts on what's happening in professional wrestling around the world, on the Australian wrestling scene as well. We're going to get into that and much, much more. And, you know, I'm glad that you're on for this one as well, Robbie, because you're another guy that I'm going to put you over as well here, which I don't usually do. But, you know, you're a guy I really do appreciate, you know, your opinions on the professional wrestling world. So this conversation is going to be awesome. But before we get into that, bro, I need to take a quick second to tell you about healthvape.com. Health Vape is your healthy vaping alternative. All of their products are no nicotine, no addictive or harmful chemicals. They help restore your energy while giving you the vital boost you need to get through your day. So go and check out Health Vape and all of their vape and pod products. Use that promo code MWA pod to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. But wherever you're finding us, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you click that subscribe button, like, share. If you're listening on a podcast platform, please give us a 5-star fucking review because it helps us out a ton. It helps us reach more amazing people, bringing more amazing conversations like this fucking one we're about to get into right now. But Robbie, you ready to get into it?
I'm ready. You know, this is a guy that's been waiting to talk to for a long time, and he's been around pretty much as long as I have. So he has a wealth of knowledge for this business. So let's hear him out.
Let's get into it with Tyson motherfucking Gibbs. Yeah. What's up, fellas? Welcome to the episode. Thanks for joining me for tonight.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Professor Gibbs, how are you?
I'm back, man. I'm back and glad to be back. I'm in a good mood today, man. How about you?
Yeah, even better now. This is going to be fun.
Yeah,
certainly is, man. Certainly is, dude. It was, you know, great catching up with both of you guys this past Saturday at Elite Wrestling Australia, man, for Cruising for a Bruising. That was a lot of fun, man. That show, and it was a really, you know, I don't know, man. Like it was a different type of feel. Like every match sort of like had a little bit of stink on it, if you know what I mean. Not in a bad way, but more of like guys going out there with something to prove.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys and girls, yes. Honestly, I've said this to other people before. I said it on the night. I reckon dead set it's their best outing so far. Where they've done like 3 shows so far, and this one was my favorite by a long way too. Just like you say, it was the stink. The stink did it. What do you think, Rob?
Absolutely. No, it was a great night. You know, we all had a great time. it was just one of those things that the whole thing flowed pretty well. Everything from start to finish. It wasn't too long for the audience, but it was actually a really good time, and everyone really worked their asses off. So it was just one of those nights where things went really well.
Yeah, I think it even crowd wise, it wasn't the biggest crowd that they've had so far. But still, the crowd were definitely into everything that was going on. And I think as well, majority of those crowds are non-wrestling fans. So I feel like when you can get those fans invested, everyone's doing their job right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, like you say, things went pretty well, but even when they didn't go well, they went really well. You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah.
We
recuperated with a lot of things, or we used our experience to make things work. You know what I mean? When things didn't go well.
Yeah, man. I was watching through the curtain, and it's actually I don't watch a lot of shows too intently, but that especially that main event, man, I was stuck, especially after everything kind of, for lack of a better term, sort of went to shit. It had me hooked right in there, and like you say, man, you guys bounced back so well from that, and I was hooked. I was really, really if honest, I was a little bit stressed out, but that's what it's all about, right? Emotional investment.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. If we can get a quality worker to actually be hooked on that, then we know we can get. We did the right thing, you know what I mean? So it was like I said, when things don't work out, you try and do your best, and it's one of those nights where that type of stuff really shouldn't happen. It doesn't normally happen. So if you missed out on that, you're not going to see that again. You know what I mean? It was just one of those things. So, but like I said, it was really, really fun. I had a really good time. It's always good catching up with you guys.
100%, man. But that image of you flying through the cage, I was just you know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? I can't.
Fucking thing. I was just fucking thing. If you had a fucking camera on my face, you would have just seen, fucking die.
Bro, I was like, holy shit, Kasai's won. And then I'm like, holy no, Robert's won because his feet touched the ground. I'm like, for you guys to call that on the fly and go, you know what, fuck it, continue it. It's by pinfall or submission. If that was in front of a crowd full of smart marks, they'd probably just boo the shit out of the building for restarting the match instead of just rolling with it. But I think because of that crowd, they were just okay, cool, this is going to continue. We're into this match. We're invested. We know these two still have a fight left in them.
Well, I think it took things. It took it up. I think if anything, everyone in that room was oh man, I'm so glad this isn't over and that it's going to continue. And props, kudos, whatever you want to call it, to Christian, the referee, for making the call that he did at the time, and then rolling with what you guys went with as well. Refereeing is an art in itself, and I think he got full marks. He's really good.
No, he did a great job. And the good thing about it is these guys all believed that it was the end. So what you were seeing on their faces was real. It wasn't. They believed the match was. The only one who didn't believe. Even Jordan said to me, trying to get people to do so. I said, just relax. I was out there, and I was with Tristan on the floor, and I just said to him, "This is that Foley moment. You can walk me to the back. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to I'm not doing this shit. You know what I mean? This is a fight. We're giving them the money's worth, so we had to. You know what I mean? We had to step it up. So." It was one of those things. It doesn't happen. That type of stuff doesn't happen, but it was kind of cool. And you get curious to know what would it have been like if we didn't go through the cage. You know what I mean? How would the match pound out? Would it be stagnant of a match? Did it add an extra element to the match? I know it broke down a bit of psychology, which probably isn't always the best, but a lot of those matches that where shit's gone wrong, it adds a bit of more of a thrill to it. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's not a normal match, by the way.
You know what? Like it would have been like, for me, I think, like, if possible, and I don't know if this was, but if someone who was backstage could have come out as like the authority figure and gone, no, this is not the way that this match is going to end. This is not the way that this, because it was a dead rubber match, right? Because you've won one, he's won one. This is like the dead rubber. So it's like, no, there's going to be a definitive winner here. Zucco, I know you're pissed off about this. Come back out here. Let's go, baby. Or whatever, you know what I mean? And you come back out, put the straps down, whatever it is, going back to the cage, and then boom, start the match back up. And then you get that massive baby face pop from that for going back out there after going through which was it looked fucking horrific, bro. Like,
yeah, I was worried that the cage was going to end up in the front row, honestly.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
It was pretty close,
eh? Oh, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, dude. But that being said, if that didn't happen, I feel like it was building very nicely. Like, I like the way that you guys, it's something that a lot of people overlook, honestly, and that's using your acoustics and the sound and impact and everything like that. Like, it started off like, I don't know if it was intentional, but it's just how it happened. The way it did was when you guys first initially hit the ropes and you hear everything, that metallic, and then the first hit was like a little bit more, and then like, obviously you fucking overdid it, Rob, and fucked up the cage. But then like it really felt like everything was building really, really nicely. Like it was a good demonstration, especially like, with the spanner in the works and everything like that, like how even the way you use sound and stuff like that is important with building a match and building that anticipation for those ridiculous spots, mate. Seriously, like, how long till you going to jump off a cage again?
Tomorrow. No, I don't know.
You got to stay loose. You got to stay loose.
I'll stick to, like, as I said, I'll stick to the headlock takedown from now on. I won't, unless somebody pushes me. So.
Yeah,
I feel ashamed that there's no way I would fucking even consider doing that.
But you know what the funny thing is, like, but the thing is, bro, like every show that you're on, but Rob, every show that you're on, you are fucking over. Like, you don't need to fucking do shit. Like, you could go out there, do like the John Cena moveset or the Hulk Hogan moveset and just do fucking 85% fucking gimmick, and then the crowd would be like, you get a bigger pop than us. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I've never done a cage match, first and foremost. So I didn't even know what to fucking do. I did the 6-man cage, but that wasn't a cage match because it was like everybody was involved. And, this is a one-on-one. Never done it before. Never took any risks like that before. So it's like, what do you do? You know what I mean? So you just go by what you've seen, experience. So it was just one of those things where I just had to do it, and I had to go up there because I felt that they needed to get their money's worth. You know what I mean? It was, I don't know. It was just, it doesn't happen often, do that often, but it was just one of those things where I just felt, yeah, it's right. You know what I mean? And plus, I'm old, so I didn't give a fuck. I just jumped and that was it. So it did not bother me one bit.
Didn't even skip a beat, mate.
But dude, you said to me like after that show that you'd be down to do a death match, though.
Oh, nah, fuck no.
Come on.
I'm not that
was that just like you were so high from the show, you had to come down. You were like, yeah, do a fucking death match, man. Yeah, light tubes and shit. Fuck yeah.
Remember the wrestler with Nicky Raw?
Keep that Nick Gage the fuck away from me, man. I don't want to get my fucking lips cut or like, fuck no. Poor David Arquette. You know what I mean? Fuck no.
Give it time.
Well, yeah.
Look,
Adam says too many rum and cokes. Maybe it was the concussion.
Yeah. But look, going back, as I said before in the pre-interview, I really enjoyed the way you guys worked, you and DJ. You guys looked like you had really, really good chemistry. The way you guys moved, and it looked very professional. Yeah, and that's really sometimes hard to it's hard to project when you're out there. So you guys look like a bunch of pros, and it's not just me saying that. People that I get the best feedback from people that are not big wrestling fans. You know, people that go, "Oh, this and this match was good because of this." So, and that match was pointed out. It just looked very, you know, professional. You guys look like you knew what you're doing. Well, you know, you guys know what you're doing, but it was just it was that's the type of feedback that I got, and I was very impressed with it. I really enjoyed it. It was one of those matches, and the finish was very, very clever. It's different. It's not your typical. Oh, fucking! It has to be this. It has to be a bigger impact than this. It looked like a fucking accident, and that was a crazy thing. And you see Jason's face as he's falling back, and he looked like he was dying, you know, because
that was kind of probably a shoot.
Yeah.
he wasn't super excited for that one, and then once it was all said and done, he was like, "All right, that wasn't so bad." Because you appreciate the cheering. I just liked it because, like you say, like it was just something different. I'm always trying to do something slightly different and try and just all these people out there that think they're smart. Like maybe you don't know everything, you know. That's what I'm going for. And you know, credit to DJ. Like fuck, that was an easy night out. Seriously, like I didn't have to think about nothing. It was fucking simple. And to his credit, also, I've got to put this note in. That bloke has solid it up like a motherfucker. I grabbed a hold of him. It's like twice the size as usual. So good on you, DJ, if you're still listening. Well done.
He's muscled up, hasn't he? He looked good.
Yeah. My brother was in the crowd watching too. He said the same thing.
But you know what? He's obviously is DJ's one of the nicest guys in professional wrestling.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
100%.
Yep. Absolutely. He's a quality guy, and they're hard to come by, that's for sure. But yeah.
We need to get some mongrel out of him though. Yeah.
That'll come time with it when he becomes a grizzled vet like you two gentlemen.
Yeah, man, you got to get cynical, bro.
But you know what? Like, back onto like cage matches and stuff. Have you guys ever been on a show where like something like that has happened, where like it looks like that could be the end of the match, and a performer's just gone? They could have gone, you know what? I could go back out there and like, you know, tear the house down some more with this opponent, but have gone, yeah, fuck this. All right, let's just go home.
I can't say I've been on shows with a lot of cage matches. Have you, Rob?
No, that was it. That just the AWE show. That's the only one I've ever been in, and that's the only one I've ever seen around. I was supposed to be at Rock and Roll the night Hunter had his match against Otis, but I wasn't there. So that was pretty much first time at AWE to actually see an actual cage, you know, live. So
the only other one I can think of would have been OVW, and that went to plan. Their cage was held together in a different way too, though. Like it all just, I don't know. Like it was these heavy duty like straps.
Yeah. You definitely need to reinforce it, because you got to remember, it's just a cage. It's not designed to fucking take a battering. You know what I mean? Like over and over again. It's not concreted into the ground. You need to really reinforce it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Do you think because it's like, you know, shows don't have like an engineer going in there putting the shit together and stuff like that, that's why we can't sort of get something like this 100% accurate? You know what I mean? Like, because, you know, as I said before, most cages matches I've seen, there's always been an issue with the cage at some point during the match.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you've got to try and balance it when you're building your cage for your show or whatever, like you're designing and everything like that. It's got to go up in a timely fashion. Like, they don't have the WWE ring crew with like 60 guys that can just get there. They can't just drop it from the ceiling like a lot of times they do. Like, it's got to go up. It's got to be a lot of the time bolted together at the time in front of the crowd, and you know you're gonna have to compromise here and there.
But do you think, like, Australian wrestling should probably say, okay, let's leave cage matches alone? Like, are they safe? Like let's look at it. Is it safe?
No,
Well, no.
Look, I think a cage shouldn't be done for the sake of it. I think if you have a little bit of a feud going and a build up, everything all makes sense. You know what I mean? That's the only time they used to score with a cage. But then you've seen the WWE. I mean, they had Mick Foley go through the cage. What's that engineering? You know what I mean? That was it fucked up on the big stage as well. So you can't just stop it. You just got to be cautious on what you can and can't do. And when you've never done it before, you just don't know.
Well, I think, like, you know, it's a fucking dangerous match type, you know, like that's what all of these gimmicks should be. It's like you say, like, you've got to have a meaning for it. Otherwise, it's pointless putting yourself in that kind of jeopardy, you know, like it's not really that safe. Professional wrestling in general is not that safe. It's quite dangerous. It's quite taxing on your body. It wears you down, and the smallest little thing, you could change your life. You could change the course of your life in a second. And I think that gets lost in a lot of it with a lot of the stunts that get done now, especially with the way WWE is chucking people off buildings and stuff, and they're landing on crash mats behind something and taking away that the reality of the physicality, like, is lost on a lot of people. It's fucking dangerous, man. And you can't just do these gimmick matches just because, like, you think, I just want to do something different. Like, have a reason for it. Otherwise, man, like, there's no sense in putting yourself in that kind of danger. You know, that's my opinion anyway.
You know what? Like, I think as well, like, for a certain extent, like, you see stuff like deathmatch wrestling now has been, like, probably at its peak, where, like, other wrestlers from other different styles are going, you know what, I want to go and do that. Matt Cardona going and doing that and really sort of rejuvenating his career. Do you think by doing that it shows, like, versatility in a worker by going and doing that? Like, what mentality would it, like, someone who doesn't really need to go and do those kind of matches but goes and does them anyway, like, what would be the mentality doing? Because we're seeing Jericho do them as well.
I think, honestly, if they were honest with themselves about why they're doing these things, they would go, I'm trying to impress the internet. That's purely it. Your average fucking punter, your average person that, you know, is wearing their John Cena shirt or you know, is into CM Punk or some shit like that, like, they don't care if you're going to stab yourself with a light tube. It's fucking retarded. Like, it's gross.
I agree.
There's no point. And all you're trying to do is impress a bunch of fucking weirdos on the internet.
Yeah, if they decided to book exactly, if they decided to say to me, okay, we're gonna book you and Kasai in a cage match for a different Fed straight away, I wouldn't do it. I would not do it. It was only just kind of like a one-off to settle something storyline wise. It was nothing more than that. It was it's not going to start me doing fucking, you know, going through light tubes and all that shit, because that's not what I do. I'm there to entertain. I'll take the Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Rock, Steve Austin, fucking drawing power, you know, over any other freak that goes through anything. You know what I mean? Any day of the week, I would go down that route, because to me, that's professional wrestling. That is money. And if you don't bring people in and draw money, there's no point in doing it. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. You got to be an advertisement. You know, that's what wrestling's about. If it was real, then you might as well just go watch an amateur wrestling show. You know, there's a reason why they changed everything. The reason why they added the elements to it, because it was more exciting. You know what I mean? But
dramatic.
You need Gorgeous George, charisma. You know what I mean? That's what it was. You know, it was as soon as he brought charisma, I was like, wow, he's good to look at. Muhammad Ali followed that suit. You know what I mean? No, but then
even on another point, would you put, like, say, someone like a Jeff Hardy, right? Because, like, what's he most known for? Doing fucking high spots.
Yes,
like,
correct.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to say something that's probably not going to be very popular. I don't think he's all that of a performer for me. Like, I don't think he's all that great. I don't think he was a good drawer of a champion. I don't think he can cut a promo.
Well,
I
that's
think he's
exactly what
I think
it is.
he's just good at jumping off shit.
Yeah, you can flip through
Well,
furniture, all right, but that's
exactly, and that's why John Cena's stock's a lot more. That's why Hulk Hogan's stock is a lot more, because they can talk their way. They can talk people into the building. You know what I mean? You don't need to jump and kill yourself in that thing. Yeah, a one-off, I get it, but you know, I'm not great on promo. You know what I mean? But I understand that for you to bring people in, you need to have the best promo. You need to have the best talk. You need to that's what brings people in. My idol isn't like a technical wrestler. Like, I do love the Dynamite Kid Bret Hart, but for me, the Hulk, he could just draw people in. He had that charisma. You know what I mean? The Rock, Steve Austin, they just had this charisma. And the moment they started relaxing and not doing a hell of a lot is when they became more popular. You know, Steve Austin had to start punching and kicking and made it more of a story, rather, because he was a technically good wrestler in WCW. If you watch his matches, he was a great mechanic, you know. And The Rock, he got booed fucking when he was wrestling as, you know, Rocky Maivia. The moment he started making it real fun, it was a totally different story, you know. And I just think that it's a draw, you know. You went to the WWE, they don't give a shit if you're the best worker. They want people to bring in money, you know what I mean? That's what wrestling should be about. Or that's what wrestling is about. You know, we wouldn't survive in the territory.
Hey,
we wouldn't survive in the old territories if we couldn't draw, because that's what they did. They drew.
Yeah. That's the only reason they keep you around in the first place.
But how would you know that, like, who's drawing for who? Because, like, if you've got, say, Ric Flair in the territory and it's a sellout crowd, then if you're wrestling, say, the match just before intermission, can you say, hey man, look at the crowd, it's a sellout crowd, I'm such a big draw?
I mean, you could, but you'd be wrong.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you see where I'm coming from?
A good promoter would figure those things out. A good promoter would go, right, who have we got in our featured spots? How's the draw responding to that? They like, you know, good bookers, good promoters, they get that stuff. I just wanted to circle back to one little thing.
Yeah.
With regard to, like, your gimmick matches and your weapons, and even in some sort of defense of that death match doing ridiculous shit style, I think that if it was handled with some psychology, if it was handled with some anticipation and then they built up to their stuff, I could probably find a way not to completely hate it. But the fact is, it's done in such a terrible video game fucking going nowhere way. You know, like, you have these guys that'll hit each other with glass and stab each other with barbed wire and stuff like that, and they think they're being clever by having a roll-up as a finish, and still throwing terrible worked strikes and things like that. I don't know. I think that if you handled it well, if you handled it smart, and, you know, if you started treating it a bit more seriously instead of like jackass, maybe it could be a cool storytelling technique. I'm not going to try, but it could be done, I think. I think it could.
I think it is done by a few. If you go and have a look at someone like an Alex Colon, Matt Tremont, these are two guys who can go out there and put on amazing matches and have put on amazing death matches. Put in Nick Gage as well. Like, he, I think, is probably the top guy in that sort of scene. But, you know, you've got guys like Ricky Shane Page who used to do them, who stepped away from doing death matches. You've got Eric Ryan. These are guys, and, you know, also Casey Catal, Brandon Kirk, bunch of people that can do death matches really, really well and tell an amazing story. I had Casey Catal on last week, and she wrestles for a deathmatch company, and she's like, and she's the champion for the company. And she told me, like I said, like, has being a deathmatch worker, like, affected your bookings, and, like, or getting to the next step of going to, like, a WWE or an AEW? And she said in the beginning, yes, it did, but now it's a lot different. Like, we're looked at to say, okay, you can do this genre of wrestling. Like, she goes, I can go and work a different style as well and do that. So it does show my versatility. But one of the things that she said, and if you look at her matches, when she has a death match, she said, she goes, I try and do a lot more storytelling in my matches. And the thing is, when she wrestles and she gets hit with shit, like you see her selling stuff. Like it's not like she gets hit with stuff, she pops back up, gets hit by another thing, goes down, pops back up. She really, really sells it to the point where it's like, and she's wrestling mainly dudes, so she gets that sympathy from the crowd. You know what I mean? The underdog thing. So she tells an amazing story in that environment. So that it can be done, but I think there's also a lot of people that don't do that, that do just go out there and hit each other with shit and fucking walk around slicing each other up.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Man. You go.
No, I just think it can be done. Yeah, sure. It just needs to be done properly. That's all.
And that's the thing. Like I look at it from a taxing point of view. Who's the smarter worker? You know what I mean? The person that draws more, or the person that does more. You know what I mean? For risk and reward, you get very little fucking reward. You can get a good reputation, but you get nothing. You know what I mean? Who's the biggest hardcore worker there is out there? He wouldn't be on even freaking you know what I mean?
Gage of all time, you'd have to say Mick Foley.
Okay, but Mick Foley went to the WWE. There's a difference. That's where he drew the most money. You know, and as soon as he started, he did what he did. He started pulling the sock out. You know what I mean? He's Mick Foley now. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. Mick Foley has that entertainment value. He has that charisma to go out there and fucking entertain a crowd with a live fucking mic for 20 fucking minutes, bro. Yep. You know what I mean? Like he can go out there and do that. Yeah.
He had an incredible interview, and that's what drew people into. It wasn't just the fact that he fell and ran. He managed to talk them into the building. He had a phenomenal interview. You know, he was great on the mic. You know, it's hard to teach. A lot of these guys that are special like that, you can be taught how to do certain things, but to do it the way they do it and to attract the audience, it's very hard to do. It's very, very hard to do.
I think Mick Foley, you know, I think his Hell in a Cell match with like going off the cage and stuff like that will pretty much be like his defining moment in the business, like the most memorable moment. Which is really unfortunate because, like, man, dude, for the guy his size, he's always a great worker, always had on some great matches. Like, he never really looked sloppy in the ring. I think maybe later in his career he probably did. But
I think, like the montage mode, absolutely that moment is, like, very defining for him. But at the same time, if I was him in that position, for me, the defining moment was when I got a bunch of people to change channels from WCW Nitro to watch me win the fucking strap. Like, that's real shit, you know?
Yeah.
That was, and I actually watched that the other day. I watched that match and, like, man, the pops there's nothing like that today. Nothing like that. It was like tens of thousands of people legitimately losing their fucking marbles and just not being able to scream any louder than they could. It was just crazy. Austin's pop, Foley's pop. There's nothing like it now. I don't know. I think we're beyond that era of wrestling. I think that whatever's happened, things have changed. The way business is done, it's done in a much more. I think things are a bit more beige in an attempt because they're publicly traded companies to try and appeal to as many people as possible at one given time. And man,
I think
it ain't the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
It feels more like it's just lost its grittiness in professional wrestling.
It's lost its art. It's lost its art.
Not its art. I feel like it's like, remember back in, like, say, the Attitude Era, and even before then, it's like the smoke from the fireworks, the crowd that was just going feral with signs everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, it had this, like, this grittiness, this underground feel of just like rabid fans, where now it's just like,
well, they don't have competition.
Well, they do have competition. But the thing is, as well, they don't have any really, like, how they've always done it is had a top star like a John Cena, the Rock, you know, Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, Hogan, Bret Hart. They always had that one top babyface, and I feel like they haven't really got that, and they don't really want that, because the fact is, okay, no worries. You take Bray Wyatt, for example, gets released or asked for his release from WWE, top star, probably invested fucking millions in this guy. Shit, okay, no worries. Now move on to the next. So they build it around the brand only. I don't think that the fans necessarily care about who they're watching in the ring, that the fans are now going there because it's a WWE event. It's an event like that. So
yeah,
I think that's another thing where there's no investment in characters there.
Mm.
Yeah, but in saying that, if you don't have that draw, they won't make a lot of money. So they can run whatever they want. But if they put shit in there, that's what they're going to get. They're going to slowly decline. You know what I mean? That's where you need those guys. You know, you need those John Cena's out there. You need I actually thought, and I thought, I don't watch it much, but from what I see, isn't Roman Reigns the new guy? Isn't he? Brock Lesnar, aren't they?
He's a heel.
Yeah. And Lesnar comes out, works heel, and is over as a huge babyface. Like, I think, like you say, that people respond to that grit. People respond to that legitimacy. Like, I feel like if you compare Brock Lesnar to the vast majority of professional wrestlers, not just WWE, but anywhere else in the world, like, that guy is a legit badass. That guy is a legit, dangerous person, and he carries himself as such because that's a shoot, right? But, like, my word, like, he's in the same business as fucking Kenny Omega. He's in the same business as the Young Bucks, and, like, man, there's no comparison, right?
No, that's the thing.
But you know what I find interesting is, like, people were saying, like, oh, there was no way Brock Lesnar would, like, when his contract was up, I think it was about a year ago, they're saying, oh, he could go to AEW, and fans were going, oh, he won't go to AEW. He, blah, blah, blah. He's a WWE loyal guy. Fucking Lesnar is a money loyal guy. If he can go and get fucking paid millions of dollars from Tony Khan, the money mark, bro, he's going to go and do it and set up his kids for their futures, bro. Of course he's going to do 100%.
it, man. He's the kind of guy that just wants to live in the woods and get left the fuck alone as well. Like, I don't know if he wants to look at how much friction and frustration is already backstage in that locker room. Like, I don't know if he'd want any part of it, right?
Yeah, well, look, it comes down to, and that's where I was saying before, it comes down to, we do indie wrestling, and yes, we're all, about the boys and hang out and whatnot, which is still the same. But once you get to that level, it's about money, and the word professional kicks in. You know what I mean? So yeah, they might all hate, not like each other or whatnot, but they have to be professional if they want to draw money. You know what I mean? If they want to make money, once they're professional, they can slag each other as much as they want in the locker room, but you're not going to do nothing to Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? As a professional, he goes out, he does his job. You know what I mean? He draws money. Backstage, they can say whatever the fuck he wants. He's not gonna give a shit. He's drawing money. He's there because he's helping the company make money, and for himself. Yeah. So that's it. And you got to remember, whenever you're competing for a big spot like that, everybody wants that spot. There's not enough room for everybody. Everybody's fighting for. So all the guys that probably slag Brock Lesnar are guys that want his spot. You know what I mean? And that's that. If I was in the WWE, I'd want that spot too. I'm not going to just settle for this shit. I want more. I want to get more money. I want to learn more. I want to get better. I want my promos to go well. I want to study it like a fucking religious madman. I will fucking go to the extreme to make more money if that's what it takes. So that's what a lot of these, the level of guys, that's what they're going to try and strive for. But it ain't all going to happen, when you got those guys there. So.
But do you think there's guys there, like at that level there, that are just there for a payday and don't really give a shit about booking, don't really give a shit about being a top guy or being a champion or being in a storyline? They're just happy to go sit there, sitting catering and cop a paycheck.
Sure.
Are you referring to Brock? Is that Brock Lesnar? Is that
no?
Because I'm trying to work out what Brock does wrong for them to, just because he doesn't want to do 1,000 different things or what these other guys want to do, his presence alone, his legitimacy alone, just the way he presents himself is fucking more than enough. You know what I mean? What he has is more than enough. He draws a lot. Otherwise, he wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he probably might be on the relaxing side. Like, but that's, what's it to say? When The Undertaker did his one a match a year type of deal, you know what I mean? Isn't that kind of the same thing where he's not working regularly? You know, I know he works off, but that's only like once a year. You know what I mean? And that's still people will be going, oh shit, why is he getting that when he's not working 300 days a year? You know what I mean? So I don't know.
And the thing is, bro, life is not fair. And that's as simple as it is, bro. When you're a draw like The Undertaker and you're a draw like Brock Lesnar, you can do pretty much what the fuck you want because you have that freedom to, bro. If you're someone like, I don't know, I'm just drawing a name out of the hat here, like Sheamus, you're going to fucking turn the fuck up there. You know what I mean? Like, but even then, Sheamus has been there for a long time, so he's probably made his money, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, he'd be one of the more senior guys there for sure. Like, man, you know, when he gets the chance to showcase, he fucking turns up though, man. Like that match he had with Gunther, right? That was mad. That was like just they clobbered the shit out of each other, and it was a good, solid fucking pro wrestling match. I enjoyed it. But
that was fucking old school.
Right? It was good. But like I think I heard the other day that something like AEW has like 200 people on the payroll, like wrestlers, not just like
I
staff.
believe it.
There's like 200 people. They're not all on TV. So yeah, I mean, I think that's just something you got to kind of accept. I think WCW was kind of that way as well. There was heaps of people that were on contract. Just fuck it, okay, I'll sit at home and collect a paycheck. Like you say, not everyone can be
WWE has. Shit, sorry.
What's
how
that?
Many do you think? I said, how many do you think WWE has? They'd have like 400.
Probably a lot too. Remember when they went through that phase where they were just signing everyone just to keep them off the indies, keep them off out of New Japan and stuff like that.
They got a lot of other people. You know what I mean? They got a sales department. They've got the talent relations, the road agents, the booking committee, the right. You know, they've got just so much more expenses than just 200 wrestlers. You know what I mean? They got so much other shit that people don't know about. Accountants, you know, lawyers, stuff that indie wrestlers don't have or indie companies don't have.
At WWE, I've been told they have a floor which is basically in-house lawyers. Like the seventh floor in Stanford is just like they've got an in-house legal team.
I mean, what are they like worth? They're worth $1 billion or something, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, you know, Vince needed lawyers on hand to write up all those NDAs, I suppose.
Yikes. How's that going? I haven't heard anything about it since. It's kind of steamed itself out. No.
Yeah, you won't. You won't.
I think a photo surfaced of him out on a date with some chick like last week. And by some chick, I mean like a woman who's probably like in her 70s or at least 60s.
It's good he's out there mixing it up with the young ladies.
Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy, bro. Because I remember seeing like Linda McMahon getting approached by someone shortly after the whole scandal came out with him, and they're going, "How's Vince doing now?" When he first went into retirement. Oh well, he's gonna have to find things to do, isn't he? And just like she was just no selling everything. They're going, "Oh, what about the NDAs?" And she's going, "Well, Vince handles his business." You know what I mean? Like, good day. And I'm just like, that is a classy chick. You know what I mean? Like, she just was like, she was not having any of it, and she handled like just very class.
Maybe that floor of lawyers advised her to answer that way.
Yeah, and she's been in the spotlight so many times, asked the same questions. She knows what to do. You know what I mean? It's just routine for her now. She knows what to say and what not to say. You know, she's a smart lady.
But you know, I love how like, but you know what? Like, I think she's probably the ultimate worker, though. Like, I reckon she's fucking worked. I mean, she's probably got, man, she's been with Vince for a long time, bro. She's got half a fish.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I mean?
reckon
Like,
being
that's why
married
she's not
to a
upset,
billionaire
bro.
would be, that's a tough job, man. You know?
Man, I reckon
I was
she's
just thinking, like, I was just thinking of that angle they had with when she was all drugged out and he was like sleeping with all the divas and stuff. I was like, oh man,
that was so uncomfortable, man.
Right?
That was so like, I was like early 20s then, and I'm just like, this just seems really fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just sitting there like, and Vince is like, just
Yeah, but
fucking
that was the
fucking
idea.
Trish Stratus.
Yeah, but that was the idea. It was to give you that fucking what?
Vince always looked way more into that than Trish did.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Grab the grapefruits, damn it. Yeah.
So
what else has been going on?
Well, I heard you've been training a lot of guys. Talk to me about how training's going, the school's going, if you're enjoying it.
That's going well, man. Been getting in there sort of each week, and there's a few younger guys that are coming up that haven't necessarily done any wrestling. I've got some guys who have been around for a little while and are starting to sort of, I don't know. I think I've got a real big focus on fundamentals at the moment, like, you know, timing, footwork, all that sort of stuff. Just trying to really simplify things before we start to get too wild with it. So, yeah, we've had a few new members for the last few weeks, so that's been good. But yeah, I'm just trying to make it like a place where sort of everyone, regardless of who they work for or whatever, can you know, come and just do some simple stuff. Like, a lot of the time we'll just go out and everyone will just work matches together and stuff like that. And, you know, the conditioning that everybody loves, that's something I like to have as an emphasis as well. But yeah, I just want to.
How do you find these younger guys coming in? Are they coming in being respectful, like understanding, like they have to have a level of respect towards you and the business coming into it, or have you had to check a couple of these kids?
Well, yes and no. Like, I mean, I feel like things are slightly different to what it was like sort of when me and Rob started. Like, I feel like it was a bit more of a, I don't know, the social climate was a little different. Whereas now, it's quite odd actually. I've had some not training with me, but like my interactions with people at shows, because I've been out getting more bookings and stuff like that, and just trying to be busy and meet more people and stuff like that. And it's not like before I left, like 4 years ago, I sort of just felt like, I'm just, you know, part of the furniture. I'm just like here working, doing my thing, and then I sort of just like faded off. And then when I came back, there was all this talk. Like, people are like, "Oh, you're a legend. You've been going around for." These are other people's words, not mine. I feel uncomfortable with that sort of phrase, but whatever. That's the way it was regarded. And it was like, "Oh, so glad you're back." And the result was a lot of people asking for advice, a lot of people asking for feedback. "Hey, can you watch my match? Can you tell me?" And I'm finding with a lot of people, particularly people that have like sub 5 years in the business, when you tell them what you think, they don't actually want to know. They don't actually want to hear it. They just want to be told, "That was really, really good, man. Really, really nice flips. Really, really nice running around a lot." And I don't think anyone, I think they think they've got it all figured out, you know, and I definitely don't think that I do.
Yeah. Huh? The constructive criticism, they can't take constructive criticism as well. Is that what you're saying?
It's more like they're already told that what they're doing could be different. Like, you know, I take my time, you know, if someone reaches out and says, "Hey, can you give me some feedback?" I'm more than happy. I'll take time out of my own day. I will, you know, watch what they offer me or anything like that. I'll sit down, I'll write like a whole bunch of notes, and then I will forward that on to them, and I'll say, "Look, you know, this is what I think. This is where I think you could, this is good. Work on this, And a lot of the time there's like, yep. But then there's also the, but like,
yeah,
it's almost
that's
like
very common. Yeah, but everybody knows that that's a a no-no in this business, and there's a lot of idiots that are still doing that. It's like, don't fucking say that, because you're telling me that you're not going to listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The moment you say your butt, it means you don't want to fucking listen. And look, you don't have to listen, but don't for your opinion. You know what I mean? Don't ask for advice, because if you've got to figure it out, don't even bother.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those things, like, you wonder why they even sort of ask in the first place, when the first reply or response is sort of this defensiveness. And it's, I don't know, man. Like, that being said, on the bright side of things, there's a lot of people who are taking a lot of stuff, and I'm seeing improving a lot. Like, I'm definitely not interested in naming names, but there are some people that I give feedback to, that I share philosophy with, either just sitting here talking with you boys like we do, talking about ideas, talking about our approach and philosophy and everything like that. There's a lot of people who are taking away stuff and they're going, damn, that makes a lot of sense. And as a result, I can go out there and I can see them implementing it, and it comes together nicely, and that gives me a good feeling. So, if it's 1 out of 100 that works out like that, sure. I'm learning to be a trainer myself, at the moment.
Yeah, but that's the thing. People do want your advice because you've been around for such a long time, and you've done great for a lot of companies. You've been champion for a long time, especially for IWA. And like I said, they look up to you. You know what I mean? When these younger guys, they look up to you, and then you don't tell them what they want to hear. You tell them the reality of it. A lot of them really struggle to comprehend that, because they were taught differently. But the school that I came from, if you were taught differently, it's okay to learn something else as well. You know what I mean? Because wrestling, with all the territories that they used to have, they weren't all trained the same. You know what I mean? If you're trained one way and you wrestle the same people exact same way, you're not going to get any better unless you go wrestle somebody else. If you go wrestle somebody that's not as good, less experienced, some of them that are good, it's getting that mixed balance of experience. And that's one thing that they don't understand a lot of the times, when they're actually asking for feedback. They're just thinking, oh, shit, I've never called a match on the fly. I don't think I can do it. Well, fucking, if you've never done it, why wouldn't you just try it? You've got a stage right there. Let's give it a go. I had to adapt. I had to, okay, you guys want to do some spots? Yeah, let's do. What spots do you want to do? Okay, yeah. I've had matches where I've had to wrestle, a spotty spot match. You know what I mean? Where, like, do it their way. But I just added my element to it. You know what I mean? So it has a bit more psychology. And, vice versa, where I haven't had to do anything. So, you got to compromise. But some of these people, they're just going to do their own thing, do it their way, because that's all they know. You know what I mean? But they need to, what's the word? They need to broaden their horizons and actually have the ability to learn, to learn from every single individual when you're wrestling, and understand that it's not just one way. There's so many different ways to tell a story. There's so many different ways that people wrestle. That's what I think anyway,
But it's almost like it sounds like people just coming up to you, just going, "Hey man, I want Tyson to put me over here. I want Robbie to put me over here." And they go over, "Hey, can you give me advice?" And they just stand there going, "All right, let's give it. Like, come and put me over, boys."
Yeah,
I
guess, right?
Grim reality, and it's just like heart sinking to the floor.
And I think that while there's a million different ways to do it, right? I feel like the fundamental reasons that it works are pretty defined. Like, you can have 1,000 different ways to tell your story, but it still has to have the same way. Same as like horror movies and action movies and comedy movies and everything like that. All these different genres have a way of engaging you. They have a way of telling their story. They have their setups. They have their payoffs. And, there's a certain way to serve up a twist. There's a certain way to serve up a tense moment and everything like that. When it's done well, across the board, it's done with particular principles. You can do it different ways, but there's these simple principles about what makes the business work that I don't think get observed very often from the highest level right down to our level, and I'm trying to figure out how to put those into words. I'm trying to figure out how to simplify those things so that we can have like a universal sort of approach. I mean, there's tons of people out there, tons of different people like that have been in the business for a long time. They've got podcasts and all this sort of stuff, and they write books and things like that. And everyone's kind of getting at the same point, at least the ones that I agree with anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's if you stick to that, you can do it however you want. You can do as many fucking cartwheels as you like, you know.
Well, that's the thing. Look, I've always measured an actual worker on how smart you are out there, how clever you can actually work. So to me, yeah, I love seeing, you know, cool little spots and whatnot, which is great. But then you go, okay, can that guy work on the fly? You do work with them on the fly. It's been done before, and they can't do shit. They don't know what to do. And to me, that a great worker is someone that can work on the fly. All those spots is a person that has a great memory. But if you can incorporate that all together and know how to do both, then you're phenomenal.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You know, people just don't. They can't take that risk because of how they've been taught. They've been taught, no, they need to plan everything from start to finish. Or it's like you have these, if you've watched any old school wrestling, which you don't, you can clearly see they've only fucking planned their finish, or they plan their start and a finish, or maybe a few things in them, you know, just something. But some unknown reason, they got into a bad habit of every punch has to be fucking planned. You're taking 3 punches off me, you're going to give me 2 back, and I'm going to turn around and give you a spin kick. It's like, well, fuck me. Like, can't you just fucking fight until your spin kick comes? Yeah, you know, it's just fight and, you know, do whatever. You know, I go in and I don't say I'm going to throw 3 punches and whatnot. I'm going to go, you know, let's just fucking duke it out. I'll throw a punch. Boom. The next one will be a chop. The next one will be a headbutt. You know, you mix it up like a boxing fight, right? Boxing, you wouldn't just go punch. You'd throw all different types of strikes. You know what I mean? Elbows, knees, head, you know, whatever.
I think a lot of times with wrestling, it looks too crisp as well. Like if you've ever seen a real fight, like MMA fight, boxing fight, or 2 people having a street fight, not every punch lands. Not everyone is, you know what I mean? Like you can turn around and you can make it look a little bit sloppy. I'm not talking about sloppy as in the fact where people can get hurt, like you're going to hurt your opponent. But as far as striking and stuff, I think you can have a bit of room to have some sloppy looking strikes in there, because that's what you see in a legit fight. Yeah. I think that brings a bit more intimacy to it.
I think the fun matches I've had. I think the fun matches I've had, like back in the day when I started with like doing a lot of matches with Brett Brady, like a lot of our matches were kind of like a sparring session in that, like, we would sort of, you know, have our own initiative. We would have our own sort of arsenal and philosophy and everything like that. And we would work within that. We would give a little, take a little, and we bounce off each other. And those matches were like so fun, so cool. And I think that's kind of my favorite sort of approach to it, is that sort of like sparring style.
When you can try things and you can do different things together, you learn off each other. So those were great matches. You guys had some really, really awesome matches to watch. So it was really good.
Yeah, so whereabouts, like, you're starting to wrestle more and more, man. When's your next show, Tyson?
Next one.
Saturday.
At this point, it's starting to cool off a bit. December 17th. I think Rob's going to be there too. Yes?
Are you there this Saturday?
No, this Saturday I'm not. I'm unable to make it. Sorry,
I saw your face.
Sorry, I can't make it.
I saw your face on the post. I'm there going, okay, well, it must be on it.
Yeah. No, I 100% I'm there on the 17th. I've just had something come up this weekend, so I'm unable to attend. Hey, if there's any wrestlers out there who are looking for a booking, hit me up. I need some help. Yeah, I think we've got a tag team thing coming up, Rob.
We do?
I do believe so.
Where's this at?
That would be at Australian Wrestling Superstars, and I think they're running at Bankstown. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the new hub. They're running at Bankstown this weekend, and then they've been very consistent, like at least sort of one a month, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they've been going for two.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's.
Do you think if promotion could run weekly?
I think if it was stripped back and it was done in a very simple, fundamental way, promoted well, sure. Would it be a rip-roaring fucking thousands of people every week success? Maybe not. But I think if it was done right and you had quality workers, why not? It's like anything. If something's good, people go and watch it. But I feel like our talent pool in Sydney gets a little bit diluted at the moment because there's so many damn shows. You know? There's a lot of feds now, right?
There's quite a few.
What do you think, Rob? Can we do weekly
a lot
wrestling?
of feds? Pretty much. Oh, could we do it? Are you asking? We do?
Yeah.
You know, look, I still have that belief that the actual territories, they used to do weekly wrestling, right? But they all had a television channel. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So they actually had like a TV. We don't have a TV. We don't put anything on TV. We're trying to put everything on, YouTube and whatnot. So they had that, and of course, you know what I mean? I get that, but we're not doing that on a regular basis. They had like a little arena, kind of like what PWA have. They have an arena, and they actually go to it on a regular basis. So, WCCW had the Sportatorium. So, and every week they'd be there, you know what I mean? And then everywhere else, they'll be around Dallas and doing house shows or whatever. But they will do the filmings there in that stinking hot little place. And you get the same people, and that's why they got the storylines. But it was a weekly show, you know what I mean? So it was more like a sitcom for them. So it can work. It depends on what you bring out there, because it's been done before, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what to bring in regards to the wrestling side of things or entertainment side of things. But it can work. It depends on what you got. It depends on what you bring.
Isn't it? Just trying to figure out what you would want to present to get that regular viewership and get that like regular crowd growing,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know I don't know if Australia is a big enough population to get a consistent big number crowd every single week for a promotion.
Yeah.
Unless, like I said, unless they're pulling out, like the promotion is like forking out massive amounts of cash to bring in people, like different stars. Like, okay, this week we're going to bring such and such from Melbourne in. We're going to bring, this person from here in. You know what I mean? Like, if they're doing stuff like that, so they're bringing in different draws to bring people in. But even then, like, I think that like the market here in Australia, or even in Sydney, so to speak, it could be hard for it. It might burn the audience out.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it is hard because they've got no TV. You know what I mean? They don't have the advertising. The promoters that we've got, that we, they don't have the TV. They don't have all that advertisement. So the star quality level goes down because you're not as noticed. You know what I mean? If you want to be noticed, on TV all the time, and that's how it was done. Yeah, every single company at TV, and it was in their area. Why we can't do that, I don't know, because I don't know how TV works. But that's the only thing. Wrestling and TV go together. How we do it, I mean, it's entirely up to the promoter. But I think that's the problem. A lot of the promoters don't understand the word promoting. A lot of promoters want to be part of a storyline, so they're marks, and they want to do what Vince McMahon did. Remember this: before Vince McMahon became Vince McMahon, he was behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Yeah. He did not do shit besides commentate, and that was it. Announce. That's it. So he actually did that. 20 years after? You know what I mean? When he was established. Not, when he was looking for writers were coming up with stories for him. So, you know what I mean? Or himself, whatever it was. So, you need the TV. TV and wrestling work. Without it, That's why. That's why it's become indie. Back in the territorial days, it wasn't called indie because they all had their TV. You know what I mean? It was all superstars. You know, the Von Erichs, you know, the Vern Gagnes and the AWAs, you know, Jerry Lawler's in Memphis. They were all superstars because they had their TV. So.
Yep.
Because that's the thing. Yeah. Would you turn around and say that like Jerry Lawler was an indie worker? Would you say, you know what I mean? Like, would you say that, you know, Jerry Jarrett was an indie booker? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, and that's the thing. It's become indie because you're not on TV. You know what I mean? People can turn around.
I think the promotion is a bit odd too. Like, you know, I can be realistic about, you know, the scene and everything like that. I don't think that anyone is really a draw. I think you'd be hard pressed to find someone on the independent scene that you would consider a draw that would be bringing people in based on having their name and face on a poster. And all I see is these posters with faces of people on them. Half of them don't even say professional wrestling on the posters. It's just a couple of topless dudes, like standing there with like some sort. Everyone's got the show name. We're gonna have the epic movie title, show name, and stuff like that. And I don't know. I think that you'd probably experience more success if you just had live pro wrestling and some dude chucking a dude or something like that, and sell it based on what it is rather than trying to pretend that these people are draws, trying to pretend that people give a shit whether I'm on a fucking poster or not.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah. Like, simplify it. Don't overdo it. Yeah. Like I can see what you mean there. Like I think as well though, like in order to be like grandiose and spectacular, that's what they're trying to compete with. So if you look at like a UFC poster or like a WWE poster for SummerSlam or whatever the fuck they've got coming up, or AEW. Sure. So I think it's trying to compete on that level on as best that they can. Whereas I think live pro wrestling like that looks very, I don't want to say carny, but very like, hey, come and check out the pro wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah, though. Let's be real, though. Like,
I know,
is it too carny, or is it not carny enough? Is that our problem?
I don't know, man. I think most promoters want to be, my back, as professional as possible, and I think that they want to try and I think they want to step away from looking as carny as possible.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it ain't fucking working. Is your back okay?
You all right, mate? Did you jump off a cage or something? What the fuck's wrong?
Yeah, I'm okay.
I had people come backstage. Oh, I hurt myself. I'm like, okay, no worries.
I said that to you because I hurt my back the week before and I came back. And I was like, just looking at me going, motherfucker.
He goes, I hurt my back. I did just jumped off a cage. My back.
Sometimes leaning forward in anticipation, that can be pretty strenuous, man. Be careful.
Yeah. I've got this nice big comfy chair. I should sit back and enjoy it more.
It looks comfy.
It is, man. I got this for Christmas, man. So always good shit. My wife knows how to spoil me for that podcast shit. So, but man, as far as like, you know, wrestling now, like you're saying, you're trying to get more bookings and try and get back out there. Like, where do you want to be going primarily? Like, do you want to be staying in New South Wales? Do you want to start going into interstate? Do you want to start trying to get on the bigger like federations and the bigger promotions that are out there that do have those platforms like a Fight TV or an independent wrestling TV?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Like I'm just having fun with doing it myself and getting out there and trying to work with sort of all different types of people and stuff like that. And just sort of, for me, it's kind of just seeing like, you know, can what I'm doing work? You know what I mean? Like I like to try to get in front of different crowds and stuff like that. I'm really, honestly, I'm really enjoying going up when I can to UPW in Queensland. They're a really good, fun fed. You'd like them, Rob, actually. Good workers. They got some they're nice and simple. They do like to run their angles and storylines, but it's stuff that is done in such a way that if you were just tuning in for the first time, they're not going to lose you. Like it sticks to a lot of like those good principles. I had a match recently with their champ Moko Kai, And dude, it was shaping up to be a fucking really good match. Like the intensity was there, the crowd was right into it. There were like good, simple stuff, but like the way he carried his intensity and it met mine, like it really created some like good sparks. And then had a little mishap partway through the thing. And we had to pull it short, but damn, I'd love to actually have a chance to finish that match because that was sensational. It was so cool. But yeah, shout out to UPW. I'm having a really good time up there. And other than that, IWA is always going to be home. But yeah, I'm keen for everywhere, man.
Are you doing the summer tour
for IWA? Years in me. I'm sorry.
Are you doing the summer tour for IWA?
No.
But that's the thing. You should have been working for different promotions a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how when you think about it, it's always good to stay with one company because it's a loyalty thing. But if you're an actual proper professional wrestler, you work for everybody. You know what I mean? And you experience things with everybody, and then you get your brand, which is yourself, out there for everybody to see. So if your brand is just at one place, only one place, one certain area sees it. But if you're everywhere else, it promotes you. So you're getting noticed everywhere else, even if it's small. It all adds up though, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I'm actually glad that you've finally decided to, work for other companies and experience it because you're right. You're going to experience great talent. You're going to experience, pulling teeth, style type of wrestling talent. So it's that's the fun of it, because it's the experience. So
yeah. That being said, like I feel like I'm right back in the rhythm. Hey, like I came back. What was it? April of this year, I think. I want to say April, something like that. And I reckon I'm right back in it. Hey, like I just feel it feels like all that muscle memory's back. It feels like all that timing's back, and it's just it's good, and it's good to, like you say, like get out there and just get to sort of work other places with other people, and every now and then someone goes, "Fucking, that was all right," and that's nice.
Yeah, share your knowledge, share your knowledge, give back. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, man, you've been out and about a lot too, Rob.
Yeah, I'm a prostitute,
right?
Bro.
Yeah,
man. I've been out quite a bit. So. Yeah. Look, it's something that I've been doing for quite a number of years now. So, I mean, I was IWA for like 10 years, 11 years straight. And then I said, I'm going to branch out and do other things as well with everybody else. It was a bit hard at first because, it was, breaking up with an ex-girlfriend, which is fucking difficult. So, but it was, I'm with IWA doing shows. I'm with Rock and Roll, AWS, fucking, done other shows for other companies as well. So, EWA, just if they ask me to do it and it's right, then why not? Let's give it a go. And I get along with a lot of the guys, which is good from most companies. So
is there any promotions that you guys wouldn't work for?
The light tube ones, the barbed wire and cutting each other ones.
Which one's that?
I saw it. Oh, bro, what are we going to do? We're going to start slagging people off? I don't think so.
No.
Everyone knows. Everyone knows.
I don't know who does that. That's the thing.
Oh,
Which
I see.
does...
So I have seen from two different promotions, one in Victoria, I'm pretty sure one in New South Wales. I may be wrong about that. That's why I'm not. But there's been no ring. And there's been a tarpaulin put down and some of that temporary building fencing put up. You want to talk about the rickety cage issue. This thing looks like you knock over in a breeze. And they're cutting each other and doing just terrible bullshit. I've seen a match take place, several matches, a card, if you will, on little judo mats in the back of a shop somewhere, and they're running invisible ropes and shit like that. Like, mate, I don't think I could get myself to those. that's where I draw the line, I think, boys.
Yeah.
Nah.
I've seen that they do like it's a gimmick copy. It's almost like a dead ripoff from ICW in the States. They do these pit matches, and that's where it's now like the whole gimmick of it. And I think the company in New South Wales did it as well, and they did the whole star like I've seen. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Huh?
I don't know, man. I don't think I want to do that. If someone wants to go watch it, go for it. But I don't want to do it. A bump in the ring at the moment is plenty for me. Let alone,
Look, I think once you become more of a professional wrestler, as in start working inside of an actual ring, it's pretty difficult to go back and if I saw something that wasn't fucking a ring, I'll be like, I'm not doing this shit. This is not
what happens. What happens? You get booked somewhere.
Not soccer. You know what I mean? What am I doing here? Like, you know what I mean?
Tell me what happens. You get booked somewhere. You don't know a lot about it. It's a little bit but it pays reasonably well. And you might know some of the guys that are on it. And you go and you get there and there's no ring and there's a bunch of shit lying around on a tarpaulin. And then they're like, all right, your first match. What do you do? What's your response? Realistically, too.
Get paid and get the fuck out.
Yeah, damn. I reckon, put on the spot, it could be an opportunity to really like have some fun in a way, right? Like, I don't know about you, but I get a little bit of a buzz from like doing a match and getting a good reaction and stuff like that from doing very little. So maybe you could pull something like that off. But damn. Where are we at with professional wrestling?
It's pretty easy. I think because, like I said, I've always prided myself as being an actual worker of the business. So I get more pleasure of knowing that I've worked hard for something, because hitting somebody with anything, it's so easy. It's a cheap way to do it. It's like you're cheating on a test and you're not working hard for it. That's the way I view that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's without fail, you could have the fucking 5-star match of the night, and then all of a sudden there'll be a hardcore match and these guys will fucking rip the shit out of each other, sloppy as shit, and get a bigger reaction because of the fact that they've got the anticipation of all these weapons. And you know what I mean? It's just, I just find that there's no art to that. But I'm not saying like it doesn't have a place. I'm just saying if you're doing that and that's all you do, then to me, that's not an artist. You know what I mean? Or especially when you're a worker, the professional wrestling side of it. Like I said before, who would you choose? Nick Gage or Hulk Hogan, to be on the same card with, to draw money with, to make a living, and that's what it's about. I don't know. That's just me though.
Makes a lot of sense. It definitely makes a lot of sense. I mean, I enjoy watching some deathmatch stuff. As I've gotten older, I probably look at it now and just go, I enjoy certain aspects of it. But like, I mean, like I like a deathmatch. It tells a story. The storyline between it, there's a reason why these two people are fucking each other up with glass and barbed wire and shit, because it's like, why would I just go in there and have a combative contest with you and hit you with fucking light tubes and try and carve your skin open if I don't really have if I don't have a beef with you? You know what I mean? Like, how does that story portray like you just going out there and fucking someone up and carving someone up and smiling about it? That just makes you a fucking sociopath. But I like the story to be told, because like in reality, you look back at fucking Abdullah the Butcher versus Bruiser Brody, the shit that they were doing was deathmatch shit.
Yeah, but they had an element of psychology. You know what I mean? They had psychology behind them. It's like Terry Funk. Whenever he did anything, there's always a psychology or an animation to him. It wasn't just straight kill. It was anticipation for the kill. You know what I mean? That's what's more exciting.
I like those death matches now that they carve each other up and stab each other and slam each other through bullshit, and then like you got to do your big handshake and hug afterwards, you know, like show that you're actually really good friends and take your selfie together and shit like that. It's just.
But you know what? Like that's like Mike Tyson at the end of a fight, turning around and kissing someone on the cheek. Like imagine when he did that to Evander Holyfield. Like goes up to Evander Holyfield, like, "Good fight. Don't kiss me, motherfucker. I ain't a bitch."
Yeah, you've still got my ear in your mouth, motherfucker.
Yeah, you cocksucker. Like I want to see someone do that when they turn and go, "Hey man, yeah, good. Get the fuck away from me, bro. Just hit me with a fucking light tube, you cunt."
Where's that? What? Keep an eye out. That's going to show up on a show sooner or later.
Yeah.
Someone will do it.
Booking infringement. Don't steal my shit, people.
Yeah, don't worry, you'll be credited.
Yeah, that's enough. But man, like as we start to head off into the sunset, man, like where can everyone keep on track with you, man, and see what you're up to on social media?
Do you want to go first?
He's talking to you.
Oh,
he's talking to you.
Tell. Well, I am
cross-eyed. That's why.
That's my problem. Sorry. And not used to this fangled internet thing. That's why I still have a Facebook. I have a Tyson Gibbs Facebook and King Tyson Gibbs on Instagram. Every now and then stuff goes up on there. People keep saying that you got to be active on social media. I don't know if I've got it in me, frankly, but it's where a lot of the stuff's going now, right?
I try and do one post a day.
Okay, that's commitment.
Like, yeah, well, you know what, dude? Like, I used to run a podcast network, dude, where we were putting out fucking 10 posts a day.
Damn.
Like it was like brutal. So that's like flyers, clips, fucking uploading extra videos to YouTube, all that shit. I just do one post a day on my social media. Done. Mm-hmm. I'm happy.
Yeah. See, I like sharing stuff. I like sharing stuff where I can actually cut and paste and just copy and just go, yeah, done my bit. Yeah, that's all. Because I can't sit there and write a whole thing about, yes, I've got a fight coming up and doing this, and I can't do it. It's just really, I like it when people have everything set out, the poster and whatnot. Yeah, that's me. I can do that, and I'll put like a little fucking greaser sign or some shit like that. Yeah,
I'll do a bit of that. Just like share the events that are coming up, and yeah.
But do you know Nathan? Right, he put out a post when like me and him did our thing at FWA the other week, saying, this is my new agent, Piers Austin, and that. And he had like family members messaging him and going, "Congratulations on signing with the new agent." Shit. And he had people like even going like, "What the fuck?" And like it was so like he's like, "Bro, have you got people like doing this?" And it was like, and there was like people from like fans of the podcast going, "Oh, you're in great hands. Pierce is a great guy." Like, and it's like people actually thought it was legit. I'm like, kayfabe's still alive, brother.
I'm probably overlooking a very good tool for, multi-layered working and things like that. Everything on the internet's real, so it's the biggest shoot of them all.
100%.
Yeah. I look at it as I'm a Nokia, and I just haven't adapted to modern day technology. So Nokia pretty much died in the ass after the 90s or something, whenever it was.
Good fucking
phone.
I am.
Though. I'm trying to fit in, but I'm struggling with certain things with the internet.
I found an old Motorola Razor at my parents' house the other week that my dad had found in a drawer and just given to like one of the kids to play with. And I was like looking at this phone, and I was just on the weekend, I'm just going, and I was like flicking it up. I was like, "Fuck, this was such a cool phone."
It was cool as shit.
And I've got like my iPhone, which is like the size of my fucking hand, and I'm just like, like we've gone backwards. Like phones in the 80s were like fucking bricks, and then it's like goes into like smaller phones, and then it was like, remember, like in the like
little small ones you couldn't even dial. You have to go like this, but they look so cute.
But you guys would remember, like, you could only text message someone who was on the same network as you as well.
Yeah. Were they charging for like certain lengths of text messages and stuff at some point as well? Like, I don't know if it was per letter or something like that, or he had a certain number per day, or I don't know. Getting fucking old, boys.
Bring back fucking Snake. Yeah, no. You know what? Like, I've tried to get my kids into wrestling by making them watch, like, I say making them, but putting on like Hulk Hogan and shit like that for them to watch, and like they just.
How's that going?
Yeah, they fucking. It's not.
Do they?
I'm like,
do they watch new stuff?
Bits and pieces. Like if they come to a show, yes. Or if like I've been on a show and it's been streamed somewhere and they'll want to see me on TV, they'll say, "Oh, can we watch this?" And they'll sit down and they'll last 5 minutes. If it's me, they go, "Oh, cool, I've seen Dad's face," and then walk off and do something else. But yeah, I think that they're more into it from a live aspect. Like when I've taken them, they're all in for it. But when they're at home, they're like, "Yeah, no, I don't want to watch it."
Wrestling's so much better live, eh?
Oh fuck, it's the coolest shit ever live.
Yeah. Yeah.
But guys, it is that time of the show. It's time to wrap it up. Tyson, thanks for joining us, man. It's been a hell of a time talking to you. An hour and 25 minutes has just sort of flown by. I really think we should do this again, guys. I really do. I think it was a good episode. I had a lot of fun with it. Appreciate you giving up your time, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I'll come back again with more gripes, more commentary. I'm all for it.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'm up for it. It'd be great.
Absolutely. King Dingaling, Tyson, we'll catch you guys very soon. Take care. All the best. Peace.